Hey, what's going on with shipping? Sal Mercogliano here, back from my cruise out in the Caribbean. Just posted a video today of what to do in case of an emergency, and one of the things I talked about is what to do in case of somebody going overboard. And we have this story of a 4-year-old girl going overboard, her dad jumping into the water to save her. Just an amazing rescue that was done, not just by the dad, but also by the crew of the Disney, able to get their rescue boat into the water, head out there, and save the the girl and the dad. I want to break this down a little bit for you because there's a lot of stories out here about it, but there is something quite off on this story that I have to tell you, that I wasn't quite sure what was going on. This video here is showing you the TikTok of that rescue launch being sent out to go retrieve the two people. They're able to get them back and bring them back to the vessel. Here you can see them actually in the water. You can see the two of them. The dad jumped in, was able to get the girl and tread water until the rescue vessel was able to fish them out. Again, just absolutely great job by the dad to save the daughter. Here's the moment, and I'll have a link to this full TikTok video so you can take a look at them, but here they are coming alongside to pick them up. Disney will have, and all cruise ships will have, a designated rescue boat on board. It's not a lifeboat, but it's designed to get launched very quickly. They'll have a crew designed or assigned to the boat to be able to go out and do this. I want to show you a little bit more of what went on this ship, and also talk about how this child could have gone overboard. Here's the launch coming back to the vessel right here. You can see the dad in the back, kind of just had his hands up there. They've got the girl in between them. You can't quite see her. She's in the back. A 4-person rescue crew went on board here. I assume probably a nurse in the back here to provide some sort of assistance. The rest would be the deck crew from the vessel assigned to the ship to get them back on board. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down a little bit. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and like so you follow and updates on any of these new stories. So we're gonna head over here to Cruise Mapper. This is Disney Dream. She's a behemoth of a ship. She's a really big one. I've actually sailed on the Dream. This is her right now in Fort Lauderdale. She runs between 4 and 5 day cruises out. In this case, they were on a 4-day cruise into the Bahamas. This is her track from leaving Port Everglades, Fort Lauderdale, heading out, went into Nassau, and then around the Bahamas over to the Disney Island over there, their little beach they have in the Bahamas. And then she was on the return leg back. This happened between 10:30 and 11 o'clock in the morning on 29 June. Now, we know that the child fell off of deck 4. Now, deck 4 is their big promenade deck. One of the things I love about the Disney ship is they actually have a deck you can completely walk entirely around the vessel. Now, deck 4 is lower to the water, so you're probably 50 feet up above the water. You're not as high maybe as others, but they have this entire walkway here that'll let you go all the way around the vessel. I know when I've been on Disney cruises in the past, I would walk that deck all the time. This is from the YouTube channel Empty Besters. This is coming out on the port side forward, walking aft. So this is the promenade. This is deck 4. Here are life rafts. You'll see you're walking past. This is that launch you just saw that was recovering the child and dad who went over. It's right there on deck 4. But notice these railings. You see these gaps between here? There's plexiglass here. There's plexiglass all around here. There is no way for a 4-year-old to kind of fit their way through the railing here and go overboard. They would have to either climb the rail or be placed up on that rail for them to fall overboard. You're right here underneath all the lifeboats, and this is the entire way across. This is the entire deck. I've, again, walked this deck before. Now, I haven't been on Disney Dream in a while. We went when my son was much younger, and he loved it. He loved, I think Disney does a great job when it comes to this. I'm going to highlight Disney's great job here in a minute again. But this is all covered. There's literally no way for a 4-year-old to get over that rail. Yeah, they can bring stuff in and climb over the top of that, but obviously the father was right there. And they do a lot to ensure the safety of this. And you have to kind of intentionally want to go over that rail or to do something to put yourself in a position to fall off this. Now, this is walking down the port side. The starboard side is literally the same thing. And I have a link to this video here. But I want to show you that because I think it's really important to understand this is not something that happens very easily. The cruise lines go out of their way to make these ships extremely safe, especially for Disney with small children on board. It's not like they crawl through something and find their way over the side. Next thing I want to note here is the rescue by Disney Dream. We're going to zoom in here with marine traffic. So Disney Dream is sailing at 10.6 knots, and that's about average here. They've got about 10 knots on the vessel as they are returning back to Port Everglades. Now, cruise ships will sail at as low a speed as possible to economize on fuel. In the case of Disney Dream, you would want to do that so to decrease the number of engines you're sailing on. They're probably sailing on 2 engines right now out of 6 to get them home. And one of the things I want to highlight here is what happens when the child goes overboard. So I got this moving. Disney Dream is moving at 10.6 knots. When all of a sudden they slam the brakes on, literally do a reverse turn here and get the ship turned around. I talked about in my video that they did usually what's called a Williamson turn, where you take the ship forward, you swing it out 60 degrees, and then do the full 180 on the track line. Disney Dream didn't even seem to do that. They seemed to actually stop the vessel almost immediately to do that recovery. Now, they could have done that by taking their props offline, slowed the vessel down, and what you see here is they do that recovery operation, and then they begin sailing back underway again. That's not what caught my attention here, and I really want to highlight Disney on this. So here it is. We're looking at the time frame here. We're almost at 1700 hours UTC time, 4-hour difference, so about 1 o'clock. Disney puts the hammers down. They're up to 22 knots to get in here. And you may be asking, why are they going so fast when they're going to sit here and loop circles? In case that girl has injuries, in case the dad has injuries, they want to minimize and get within range within daylight hours. So in case they got to medevac them off, they'll do that. What they do is they arrive within that helo area and then they slow back down. I just want to hats off to whoever's on Disney doing that. That is exactly what you want. You can slow down. They're burning a lot of fuel. Again, to go to 22 knots, that's max speed for Disney Dream. So Disney was sitting there going, listen, in case something happens, fall from 40, 50 feet above the water, hitting the ground, that hitting the water is like hitting the ground. That could be a substantial injuries by the dad and the child on board. So it's a little too early to tell what the cause was here. Again, having been on the vessel, having looked at the video there, the fact that the dad was right there, was able to go over, that doesn't diminish the bravery of the dad to jump off a cruise ship into the Atlantic Ocean to save his daughter. Maybe there was a misjudgment in what was done here, but there's no doubting the bravery of the dad to get in there, to save them, to be treading water. Again, you don't know. The worst feeling in the world has got to be getting into that water, greatest feeling, saving your child and seeing that ship potentially sailing away from you, leaving you alone out there in the Atlantic. Fortunately, again, the crew on Disney did a great job. Hats off to them. I just, a great story, a happy ending story is always a good story. So I wanted to share that with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be alerted about new videos as they come out. Leave a comment, share it across social media, and if you can, support the page. How do you do that? You hit the super thanks button down below or head on over to Patreon and become a monthly, yearly subscriber. Till the next video, Sal, signing off.